Welcome to AI World TV, your go-to destination for everything artificial intelligence. Discover the captivating landscape of AI, where advanced technology finds real-life application. Subscribe to AI World TV for webzine articles, reports, podcasts, videos, live events, and latest trends. Hear from top industry leaders and discover how AI is transforming industries and our daily lives.
Okay, so when we talk about artificial intelligence, the conversation usually gets stuck, on the tech side or maybe the economics, how it's changing jobs. But there's this other voice emerging, maybe one you wouldn't expect, but it's aiming to set a kind of moral compass for where all this is going. We're talking about the Vatican, specifically Pope Leo XIV's vision for AI ethics. So today we're doing a deep dive into an article from the AI World Journal. It really lays out how the church, an institution grounded in centuries of tradition, is stepping up and actively trying to shape the conversation around AI's future.
Right. And our mission here really is to unpack how the Vatican, especially under this new pope, is offering what they see as a vital moral compass for the age of algorithms. We'll dig into the actual frameworks they're proposing, the pretty profound questions they're asking, all aimed at guiding AI towards what they term human flourishing.
Yeah, and I think you'll find it pretty surprising just how deeply the church is engaging here. It's not just talk. There are concrete initiatives, big philosophical questions that goes way beyond just one faith tradition. So to get a handle on Pope Leo XIV's vision, maybe we should start with the context. Who is he? The article makes a point of mentioning he's Robert Francis Prevost, and significantly, the first American-born pope. The source suggests that this fact alone, his election, maybe serves as a kind of timely reminder for us all to focus on our moral compass, especially as machines get, smarter and smarter.
Absolutely. It seems Pope Leo XIV brings this sense of calm wisdom into the mix, right, when things feel like they're changing so fast. He's known for being open to science, open to dialogue, and importantly, he's not starting from zero. He's building on a really strong legacy from Pope Francis. Pope Francis was the one who really kicked off this whole effort to bring ethics into the AI discussion. So Pope Leo XIV is picking up that baton and, really championing it, giving it maybe a new kind of energy and direction. And the heart of his perspective is quite striking, really. He doesn't just see AI as another piece of technology. He frames it as a profound moral frontier. It's more than just standard ethical concerns. It's saying AI fundamentally challenges how we define ourselves, or what it means to be human. It pushes us into spiritual, almost existential territory that, frankly, not many other institutions are tackling so directly.
That's a powerful way to frame it.
Yeah.
And if that's the starting point, it makes sense why he's calling for these really broad, inclusive conversations. The article mentions he wants theologians talking to engineers, ethicists talking to policymakers, all these different groups. But how does that actually work? How do you get people with such, different backgrounds onto the same page?
Well, that's exactly where the church envisions its role, acting as a kind of bridge, creating the space, maybe the neutral ground for these diverse viewpoints to actually meet and wrestle with that central question he poses. The one about what does it mean to be human when machines imitate our voices, thoughts, and creative spirit?
Right. It forces everyone to get back to basics, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What are we actually talking about when we say human?
Exactly. And like we said, he's building on Pope Francis's work, specifically this idea of algorethics. Algorethics. It sounds a bit technical, but it's basically a Vatican's term for a moral framework specifically for algorithms themselves. The idea is to embed ethics right into the code, into the decision-making logic of AI. So the values are baked in from the start, not just an afterthought. And this led to something concrete, the 2020 Rome Call for AI ethics. And interestingly, major tech players, Microsoft, IBM, they actually endorsed it. That signals some serious engagement.
Okay, so that's the foundation. But Pope Leo XIV is adding his own layer, right? This focus on compassionate algorithms.
Yes, exactly. Compassionate algorithms. It's quite a radical idea, really. Instead of optimizing AI just for, say, efficiency or profit, which is often the default, this approach demands that AI systems are deliberately designed to prioritize human dignity and fairness and solidarity, especially with people who are poor or vulnerable. It's about designing AI with an explicit moral purpose.
Wow. And there's that quote from his first encyclical that really captures it. Something like, let our machines learn to reason.
But let our hearts never forget to feel.
Yeah. May every algorithm serve the dignity of the human person, especially the poor and the forgotten. It really hits home, that balance between the technological and the deeply human.
Compassion.
And that focus on the poor and the forgotten connects directly to another major concern for him, equitable access. He talks about this with a real sense of moral urgency. Lots of people talk about the digital divide, but the Vatican frames it through this lens of the preferential option for the poor, which is a core part of Catholic social teaching for centuries.
So it's not just about making sure everyone has internet access, so that's part of it.
Right. It's deeper. It's seeing AI as potentially a tool for liberation, for helping marginalized communities, or, the flip side, it could become another tool for oppression, another way to widen the gap. So the stakes feel very high from that perspective. So his warning is really that AI's benefits, its power, can't just accumulate with those already in power. It has to be intentionally directed towards lifting everyone up, particularly those most at risk being left further behind. It's a proactive stance.
Exactly. Proactive. Which leads to the question, okay, what does he actually propose we do about it? And he doesn't just leave it at warnings. He calls for concrete action, urging governments, corporations, everyone involved to invest seriously. Invest in education, digital access for all, and importantly, in creating and preserving meaningful work, so that automation doesn't just hollow out jobs and dignity. It's about ensuring technology serves people, not the other way around.
Okay, let's talk about the fear factor. A lot of people are genuinely worried about AI, making humans seem less special, less unique. How does Pope Leo XIV address that?
Well, he doesn't dismiss those fears at all. But instead of just focusing on the tech threat, he invites a kind of deeper spiritual reflection. He turns the question inwards.
Right. He asks those really challenging questions. The article lists a few, and they really stick with you. Like, if a machine can mimic love, does it understand sacrifice? Can it really feel empathy? Or if an AI can write prayers, does it share our human longing for something beyond ourselves, for transcendence?
Yeah.
How do we hold on to the mystery of the human spirit when we're surrounded by these incredibly sophisticated synthetic minds? These aren't easy questions. They force you, the listener, to really grapple with what makes us human.
And that's the key point, I think. He's not saying stop the technology, not at all. It's more like an invitation to humanize the whole process of developing AI, to make absolutely sure that the technology we build actually reflects and maybe even strengthens our deepest values: dignity, compassion, spirit, rather than accidentally chipping away at them. And following Pope Francis's lead here, Pope Leo XIV then really emphasizes the Church's role not as some kind of opponent to innovation, putting the brakes on everything, but more as that bridge we mentioned earlier, a place to convene, a gathering point.
A neutral space.
Yeah, a space where all these different voices, scientists, tech leaders, ethicists, policymakers, spiritual thinkers, can actually come together and try to hammer out a shared vision for AI's future.
And they're actually doing this, right? It's not just theoretical. The Vatican continues to host these big international conferences, really trying to foster that dialogue between top scientists, young innovators, ethicists, religious leaders from around the world. It seems quite hands-on.
It really is. And it's important to push back against that common criticism you sometimes hear, that bringing religion into it will just slow things down, hinder progress. Both Pope Francis and now Pope Leo XIV seem to explicitly reject that idea. Their message isn't about stopping AI, it's about anchoring it, making sure its development is guided by compassion, by justice, by a fundamental respect for human life and dignity, not letting it just run wild based on market forces or pure technological capability.
So wrapping things up, what we've seen today is the Church, under Pope Leo XIV, stepping forward to offer this really unique, spiritually grounded moral framework for AI. It's trying to bridge worlds from Silicon Valley to, centuries of theological reflection. Quite a task.
Definitely. And the big picture goal here, according to this vision, isn't just about getting smarter machines. That's maybe part of it, but not the end game. The ultimate aim is about fostering wiser, more compassionate societies, using this powerful technology to build a future that truly honors human dignity above everything else.
Which brings us to a final thought for you, the listener. Given this push from the Vatican for compassionate algorithms, AI deliberately built to serve human dignity, especially the poor and forgotten, what responsibility do you think falls on us, whether you're a developer, a user, just a citizen? What role do we play in making sure this happens? What does it actually mean, practically, to embed compassion to the code that's shaping our future? How do we ensure AI truly serves the human spirit?
You are listening to the AI World Podcast, your trusted source for the latest innovations, insights, and trends in artificial intelligence, blockchain, fintech, and decentralized technologies. Each episode features expert interviews, engaging discussions, and in-depth analysis of how AI transforms industries worldwide. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest articles and exclusive reports from the AI World Journal, covering everything from emerging technologies to industry breakthroughs. For more news, global events, and access to AI World Society circle gatherings, visit us at aiworld.tv. Don't forget to subscribe to stay informed, stay connected, and be part of the AI revolution with AI World Lounge. Thank you for listening.